Oh, here it is. I don't hear the audio in yours, Anthony.
Because I paused it, started it over. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Nope. Nope.
No audio.
Okay. Well, I will share it. No worries.
Did you hit optimize for video clip when you shared?
Oh, no, it's playing in my headphones. That's why.
Oh.
That's why.
We'll take your word for it. So
no worries.
Anthony, if you could just do an interpretive dance to the
There you-
video, that would be great.
I love
That's
it.
what we
I
came
love
to
it.
see. That's good.
I love it. What I wanted to talk to you this morning about is small business. My services can meet all walks of life. And so a lot of times I put emphasis on the family because family is the core. Because, you know, we hear the famous saying that it starts at home, and it really does. But if you don't really have a moral concept, there's laws and regulations that have to be put in place to make sure that, you know, on average, the most prudent citizen will abide by certain guidelines to make sure that everybody is treated somewhat equally, or at least expect to be treated somewhat fairly. But since this is a day and age, we have to have certain protocols in place. So I put a lot of focus on the family, but I would also like to put emphasis on the small business owner. We've seen a lot of small business owners come into business, and we've also seen them go. And a lot of that was due to they didn't have a plan of action when things went sideways. They didn't have a resource to help them navigate through those overnight changes that society has put upon us as business owners. And when you don't have proper recourse, now you're making decisions haphazard, or worse, emotional, because you're just responding to whatever you're being presented to. And we all know 10 times out of 10, when you make an emotional decision, it ends up not working out well for you. So it's good to have resources in place, which is why this group is so crucial to a lot of our businesses. And to those that don't even know about this group, is that they don't have access to those resources. So with my service, as far as me focusing on business owners are now being able to set themselves up for longevity, whether it's, you know, how do I respond to a bad review? How do I respond to, you know, a breach of contract? How do I deal with a disgruntled employee? You know, whether you have one employee or 10, all it takes is one to derail your business. And now you're trying to figure out, how do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this person? What's my protocol? Like, how should I walk through this to where now my employee is not controlling my business instead of me controlling the business to benefit my employee? So when you have all those type of scenarios, which we've either seen on news or either we've heard in networking, like, hey, how's that business going? Oh man, you know, I had to do a reset, or I had to do a regroup because, you know, something happened to the business, or I had to put my business on pause because something came up unexpected, and it just took me out of play. And so this is why it's so key to have things in your budget, just like insurance. You want to have some type of legal service to hinge your business on, to make sure that you don't get blindsided. Your time is money. Right now, this very second is an investment in your own business. Some people see it, some people don't. For whatever reason, whatever their focus is in their business at that time, this very second is an investment in your business. And what we do with this time determines what we reap later down range. That's the reason why it's very difficult for me to miss this, which is why a lot of times you see me in my car, because you may be sharing a tip that either it'll impact me directly or indirectly, because I can pass your information on to somebody else that can benefit from one of the services or benefits in your business that you provide. And so to have this budgeted into your business, to be able to pick up the phone and call someone to ask a question, or to pick up a phone and get referred or connected with a solution to help your business keep moving forward. Again, time is money. So who would rather spend their time dealing with a legal matter versus driving revenue? Okay, just checking the temperature in the room. So when you get up in the morning, nobody plans on, like, I've literally been served at my front door, and I think I've shared this story before. So, what a way to start your day. And so nobody plans on having to deal with the legal issue, but when the legal issue happens, you must respond, whether you want to or not. Because even with you not responding, it's a response if you didn't know it or not. And so to be able to keep your business moving forward on a day in and day out basis, as you're looking to either scale, looking to grow, go across state lines, whatever your goal is, you want to be able to have resources in place to help you achieve those goals. So whether you know somebody that's looking to start a business, whether you know somebody that is already established in their business and may have had questions that their business could benefit from, who's ever had that situation like, man, if I'd have known this last year, last week, last month, man, that could have impacted my business in such a way. And that's a positive, but we can also look at the negative coin. Man, if I'd have done this then, I wouldn't have to deal with this now. And a lot of times it's because we didn't have access to the information that we needed at that time. So how easy is it to pick up your phone with all the many apps that we have on our phone to be able to open up an app, click on a button, and be on the phone with somebody? Or I do even one better. Being a member of this service, you have Bill of Rights, which means there are certain things that the attorney must abide by. They must contact you within 4 to 6 business hours. How many people know an attorney that will do that? Yeah, you'll be lucky to get a phone call that day, depending on what type of client you are. Now, I will say this because I just used this example in a call I had yesterday. Amazing call. And depending on how my time is, Brian, if you could give me a 2-minute warning, I'll share that story. But I shared the story. I was like, a lot of people question what caliber of attorneys that we have. And I said, well, just in California alone, the law service that we use there, the LA Clippers and the Los Angeles Lakers are their clients. So I would think that they, have vetted who they want looking out for their business, and most importantly, their players. So when you have that type of caliber and access to it, it's not just, it's not the price, but it's the value. So a lot of people look at the cost and be like, man, the cost is so low. Like, what am I really getting for? Now, I know in this day and age, with cost of inflation, who's ever paid somebody $1.50 for their services in a day? Anyone? $1.50. You can't even get a sandwich for that. But everybody takes lunch, everybody takes a break, and that small investment, people talk about a lot of times, they talk about peace of mind and being able to sleep at night knowing my business is in check. Well, when you have an advocate that you can easily access, and it's not to mention it's a write-off, that to be able to gain access to that at any given time across state lines. See, a lot of times we get limited to, we're just focusing on Washington State, but then when you start looking at, well, I like to take vacation. I have family in other areas. I know other business owners that don't just do business here, or they don't have business across state lines, or they're looking to expand across state lines. All of those, my service is able to meet them right where they are and carry along in that journey with them on their way to wherever they're trying to take their business to.
Hello, good morning. Are you hungry?
I'm sorry, can you mute your phone? Thank you. So when you have access to those type of things, and it's not only giving you peace of mind, but it's also giving you an advantage over other business owners. Because as we're networking, you're going to have other people that share these stories and share these circumstances that they've had to face. And how awesome is it to share, just like we share a recipe, we share a movie, we share a great experience at a restaurant, but to be able to share them a solution and be like, have you considered? Just have you considered to at least have a conversation? And that's when I can have a conversation with them and just paint a small picture. Are you looking to grow your business? Or have you ever been in a situation to where I can ask these two questions? Have you ever experienced this type of situation, or are you looking to grow or scale your business? Both of those are going to be yes, because we've all made decisions. And I guarantee you, everybody on this call has signed something that you did not read. You did not read all the way through. It's called a cell phone contract. And we all have cell phones. But I guarantee you, when you was in Verizon, T-Mobile, inside that store, you did not scroll through and read line by line to make sure that there was no loopholes to where you would pay the penalty. And guess who wrote that contract? An attorney. So wouldn't it be nice to be able to bounce that contract off somebody? Hey, could you take a look at this just to make sure? You're purchasing property. How awesome is it to have the advocate? Oh, let me have my attorney, instead of us threatening just to get a reaction. I was like, wait till you hear from my attorney. But to be able to say that and then have your attorney reach out to them like, well, I've reviewed the contract and this is what I see. So now I don't have to know law. I just need to have access to it. Just like I don't need to know accounting, but I have access to people. I don't need to know finance. I have access to Brian. So there's a certain peace of mind and confidence in your business. That's the other thing. Having confidence in what you're doing, because you know that you're protected on all sides. You can move throughout the day and you can conduct yourself with any type of industry or business because you know you will not be taken advantage of. And I think that's the greatest asset to having access to this type of service, is that you can move with confidence knowing that whatever type of transaction I'm about to have today, I know I can have somebody that can vet and let me know that this is either a good decision or this decision needs to be modified so it sets me up for success. Because nobody wakes up in the morning for failure. Everybody wants to wake up and move forward with confidence, knowing that they're taking their business to the next level because I'm present and I'm engaging in my business today. And my business is meeting a need to somebody at that point. So
Hey, Anthony, we're at 2 minutes.
perfect. So yesterday I'm on this call and I'm having this call with a guy that does employee benefits. 5 minutes into the conversation, he sits back in his chair. He was like, well, everybody needs this. And I said, yeah, but you'll be surprised. And I said, and I'll give you 2 benefits to you talking to these corporations. And he talks to corporations, schools, civil service. And I said, 2 benefits. 1, retention. A lot of people are looking for good employees. So when you can offer these type of benefits, it makes you even more attractive. So if they going down their checklist and they're looking at, okay, both of these got good benefit packages, pay is kind of, somewhere around the same point, and they're trying to narrow you down to make a decision on what company to go with. And it's like, yeah, but they don't offer that. That just makes you even more attractive. So now, instead of them just looking at wages, they're looking at benefits as well. I said, the second thing is that as a business, you insulate yourself. Because if you're offering it to your employees can't use the service that you provide to turn around and sue you. And he was like, I need you to talk to some people. He said, we'll talk more later this week, but I got a few trips coming up, but let's get a presentation together. So when I go and present these employee benefits, because he listed off at least 4 or 5 benefits, and I was just like, dude, that is a game changer. He said, yes, and I'm bringing your service onto my platform. So it just blew my mind. So ladies and gentlemen, just this client alone is a full-time job for me. So this is the reason why I do what I do. I know I'm gonna make money, so I'm not worried about the money. The money will always come if your priorities are in check and you keep the main thing the main thing. But at the end of the day, if they don't know what I do, then it's very difficult because I don't want to find out about your mishap after the fact. And I'm like, oh man, we should have talked last week. Oh man, I wish I'd have known, I could have connected you with somebody. Instead of doing the shoulda, woulda, coulda, it's have you considered? That's the question I like to lead with. Have you considered? Not you have to do this. You have to talk to my guy. You're like, have you considered? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, well, I have, but I really didn't take it serious. So, I mean, I probably should have a conversation. But when you get served with papers and it says so-and-so versus Brian Bond, it gets your attention. It gets your attention immediate. And now your mind is going like, what do I do? How much is it going to cost me? How much time I need to take off from work? Because remember, time is money. And if you are a business owner, you do not have time to be standing in front of a judge or a magistrate trying to explain yourself or defend yourself on something that you weren't even involved with. Quite honestly, you probably wasn't even aware of taking place. But there are people in place that do not abide by the same guidelines that you and I do. That's the reason why laws and policies are put in place to try to level the playing field. This service makes sure that those laws and guidelines are upheld to. So I thank you for your time and your attention. If you have any questions, please speak.
Thank you, Anthony.
Anthony, it's Forrest. Hey, man. First of all, great talk and delivered with your Laker purple shirt